Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. I am Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network. Got the mic all plugged in, so now, hopefully you guys can hear me. So, we get ready to rock and roll. This is now race number 8. I believe so. Let me double check that here. As yeah, race number 8 on the schedule here at Richmond. And of course, here tonight, we got a good one here for you. It's going to be double feature night. So what that means is we are going to have a 50-lap feature number 1 straight up from our qualifying order, which is about to happen right now. Then after that, we'll have a quick warm-up, chat with the winner of feature number 1. Then we'll do it all again, another 50-lap feature, that time with a 12-car invert. So here we go. Qualifying is going to matter a lot tonight because it will determine where you start for feature number 1. First car we'll take a look at here is the 88. This is Chuck Darling. Darling will get his car rocking and rolling down the backstretch, get some heat in those tires, and we'll see him sail it off into turn number 3 here against the wall, get that car wound on up, and here we go off of turn number 4. The 88 to the stripe. Darling is on the clock here at Richmond. And if you guys have been watching for a while, you'll notice Richmond looking a little bit different than it normally does. Richmond, one of those tracks that just got a brand new reface for the NASCAR 2025 game. So this track looking a little bit different than it did before. And here we go. Time's coming on in right now. Quick time going to the 88 of Darling. He sits atop of the board here with a 22.65. We'll see if Darling can find some more speed here. Lap number 2. Looks like 10 cars here taking a time. Now Stephen Hoffman will jump to the top. A 22.59 for the 86. So Hoffman at the moment going to be tonight's quick time qualifier. We'll see if anyone can dethrone him. We'll take a look now at the 7 machine. This is Pete Dillon. Dillon will start his first lap. Tallarico will jump to the top, then quickly get dethroned by Justin Brooks, who lays down a blistering 22.44 for the 33 machine. Dillon here on his first qualifying lap. We'll see where he can slot on in at the stripe. Dillon will put down a 22.81, so that will be good enough for 13th here on lap number 1. He'll look for some more speed. Ron Hart will jump up to P number 4 there in the 51. As it looks like Dillon, last car to take a time here. So we'll see where Dillon can go here at the stripe. Gets a little bit loose, stands on the pedal. Does not improve, a 22.83 for the 7 machine there on lap number 2. So I believe that will do it here in qualifying. Quite a few cars, I believe 4 cars have yet to take a time. So they will all start in the back. And right now, with the amount of time left in qualifying, looks like we'll not have a chance to get a time. So Justin Brooks, once again, will walk away here tonight with the quick time. So big congrats to that 33 machine that J-Bo designs. A very, very fast hot rod. It seems like no matter what track we go to. And here tonight, Brooks walking away with the quick time award here in the 33 machine. So that would do it here for qualifying. So let's get ready to head on down trackside and go through tonight's starting lineup for feature number 1. So here we go. We get ready to rock and roll here for feature number 1. Like we said before, feature number 1 will in fact be 50 laps, just like feature number 2. So let's rock and roll through feature number 1 starting lineup. Justin Brooks in the 33 machine will lead the field to the green flag. To his outside, our points leader coming into tonight, it is the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. Rolling off P number 3, that's being the 86, Stephen Hoffman, with a new looking ride here tonight. He's hoping to park that thing down, at least on the podium. He will start in that spot. Hoffman in the 86 will roll off 3rd. Then in P number 4, Ron Hart in the 51. Hart, always a challenger in these races. We'll start towards the front here without the invert. Ron Hart will roll off fourth. Then to round out the top 5 for the starting order, that being the 48 machine, another car with a new paint scheme on here tonight. It is Tim Rogers rolling off 5th. Then 6th here, Hayden Swank. Didn't have a lot of time in practice, didn't put down a lot of practice times, but he will roll off in a pretty good spot. Hayden Swank will start 6th. 7th going to the 88, that is Chuck Darling. Starting in 8th is the 55 of Scott Negus. Starting in 9th is Regan Ford in the number 20 machine. Rounding out the top 10 is the 38 of Dave Payne. Then rolling off 11th is the 52 of Jeff Dillon. Then in 12th, it is Zach Hummel in the 31 machine. Then heading back a little bit deeper in the field, Pete Dillon will start 13th in the 7th. Cody Kennedy in the 63 will roll off 14th. 15th going to the 13 of Zach Hoyer. 16th is TJ Hansen in the 41. Ace Hart in the 145 will roll off 17th. Then we have the drivers not taking a time. Stephen Rochford in the 66 will roll off 18th. 19th going to his father of Scott Rochford in the 77. Ty Delphia in the 013 will start 20th. And then starting 21st here tonight is the 906 of JT Batson. We saw there, folks, Justin Brooks pulling down to the inside of the track. That is because since Brooks won last weekend, he will start shotgun on the field here tonight at Richmond. So I believe everyone ready to rock and roll here for this first feature of the night. Everyone should be in positions. Lights are out on the iRacing pace car, so this time by we should be going green flag racing with Brooks not leading the field to green with the shotgun roll. That will actually give the race lead and control to the 86 of Stephen Hoffman. So here we go, folks. The iRacing pace car will head on down pit road. Stephen Hoffman, Tanner Tallarico on the front row, Hoffman on the loud pedal. We go green flag racing here in feature number 1 at Richmond. The field will make it down into turn number 1 side by side for second. And then everyone else trying to just fight where they want to be out on track. Looks like Tim Rogers is going to try and keep side by side with Tallarico. We'll back on out of it there. So going to quickly single file in the top 5. And maybe even deeper now as we see Regan Ford getting in line, Scott Negus in line as well. The first side by side is Jeff Dillon with Dave Payton for 9th and 10th. Right here is the really only side-by-side battle here out on the racetrack at the 4th position. Maybe further on up, Tim Rogers now under fire from Ron Hart. So we'll see Rogers go up to lane number 2. Hart will make that pass pretty easily on the 48 machine. So Ron Hart up into P number 3. We'll see what Rogers can do, as he will, of course, have a very long line of race cars right behind him. Battle for the race lead, though. Tanner Tallarico will look to the inside of Stephen Hoffman. Down into turn number 1, they go side by side, but with Tallarico having the shorter distance in turns 1 and 2, he will take over the race lead. And new race leader, Tanner Tallarico, out in front. He'll pick up a bonus point for leading the lap there. Has to chase that race car all the way to the wall there. That had to be a little bit sketchy behind the wheel of the number 1 car, as that is something these drivers will have to manage. This setup definitely on the looser side, but definitely drivable. It doesn't feel too bad, but it can definitely get out from underneath you in a hurry. As we see here, Hayden Swank in the 4 car, or the 35 in the time and scoring, up into P number 4. He was able to just get around the purple and yellow machine of Tim Rogers. So Rogers kind of falling on back here a little bit as Rogers will get tagged in the rear. Regan Ford will go around. Same with Darling. And it is big time calamity into turn number 4. Man, oh man, it is a parking lot and 1 car up and over. That is the 88 of Chuck Darling on his lid. So, man, the first caution coming out tonight, and it is a big one at that, as we can see still cars trying to get themselves sorted, get things righted and going here, as it looks like everyone should get rocking and rolling now. But man, oh man, it started with contact between Ford and I believe Tim Rogers, and then from there, it was just big time calamity after that. So here we go, another look of it down into turns 3 and 4. So there is the contact. The 20 machine of Ford just gives Tim Rogers a shot in the shorts, then comes down the track a little bit, and with that loss of momentum, everyone else just starts stacking in with nowhere really to go. And then it is just big time calamity as everyone else tries to make evasive maneuvers. You see Jeff Dillon getting turned around on the left side of your screen. Pete Dillon involved. Oh man, Scott Roachford coming in there hot. That is what turned Darling upside down. It looks like, man, that Justin Brooks getting tagged just a little bit. He will get lifted his back end up in the air, but I don't probably think too much damage for the 33, but wow. I would say about 10 cars with some sort of damage here tonight, as everyone tries to get themselves sorted, get to the right spot on the racetrack. But kind of the bigger thing as well is this incident was before the invert. So just imagine top 12 switching all positions, and then all the craziness from that still yet to come here tonight. So it looks like down on pit road, Ty Delphia down there, Chuck Darling, Jeff Dillon all down on pit road. And I believe it looks like lappers will get their lead lap here back. I believe we might have an extended yellow as everyone else about to get lined on up. I think next time by we'll get the 1 to go signal. I have a feeling though, if you're Tanner Tallarico, you're picking the inside lane on the restart here. And I think with all that calamity, everything going on, Justin Brooks up into P number 6. So the guy that started 21st here tonight is already almost into the top 5 in these first 10 laps. Brooks does have a little bit of left rear damage on that car, but could have been a lot worse. I have a feeling that car will definitely be driving all right. So here we go to the start finish line. It looks like Tanner Tallarico making that choice. Obvious there, gonna choose the inside lane here for restart number 1 of the night. So here we go, folks. The field re-racked, restacked, lights are out around the Richmond Raceway, so we are going green here. Tanner Tallarico in the number 1 machine in control of the restart. As here we go, Tallarico on the loud pedal, rest of the field will follow. We'll go back green flag racing here just after a 5th of the way done here in feature number 1. Side-by-side battle for second here as Ron Hart able to get a nose to the inside of Stephen Hoffman. Now we'll have the shorter distance round. Can he put down that power down on the inside lane? Looks like he will have the advantage here. Going down the front stretch, back into turn number 1. Oh man, Justin Brooks, big time send to the inside of Hayden Swink. Swink tried to cover it off, but a little bit too late for the number 4. Justin Brooks up into the top 5. He is trying to take 4th away from Hayden Swink. Will do just that there off of turn number 4. Swink will look to the crossover. Brooks will block him all the way down to the apron. All those cars will somehow hang on to their cars underneath them. Man, some great racing, some aggressive racing, as they know Time is not on anyone's side here tonight. Justin Brooks now trying to set up the 86 machine of Stephen Hoffman. Looks like down into turn number 1 here. Brooks a little bit lower around the corner. Can have a little bit of a shorter distance. Won't quite have to run further on back. Tim Rogers with the big send to the inside of Pete Dillon. Rogers trying to get back those positions he lost earlier in this race. So far doing just that, as now Dillon will try and look for the crossover here into turn number 1. Side by side here, this is a battle for the 6th position as these two will drag race down the backstretch. We're up front here. Justin Brooks has made it to the inside of Stephen Hoffman. It's now a battle for the 3rd position. Now Hayden Swank will try and get around the 86 machine. He'll do that as well, so Hoffman will lose 2 spots just in one corner there. Further on back here, we see Zach Corey, Stephen Roachford doing battle. This is a battle for the 8th position out on the racetrack. So we saw both of these cars start deep in the field here tonight. And both of them are already finding themselves inside of the top 10. Inside of the invert. Right now, at the moment, the battle for starting on the pole for feature number 2 is on. This is this side-by-side battle right here with Zach Hummel, Scott Roachford, and then right behind them, JT Matson right there as well. So these guys duking it on out. You can see a lot of damaged race cars back here, and everyone's slipping and sliding around this racetrack, just trying to put all the laps together that they can. Like the 77 of Scott Roachford will lose his position to Hummel. Now to Matson, now under fire from Regan Ford. Ford trying to make his way back up through the field here. A little bit of contact down the straightaway, just a little bit of trading some paint there. Up to P number 2 here is the 33 machine of Justin Brooks. Ron Hart will race him close, race him tight, but Justin Brooks will be able to get around the 51 machine. So now Brooks has quite a bit of a gap to Tanner Tallarico. But there is still half of this race left in this one here tonight, as Hart will look to the inside of Brooks. We'll try and get a nose down there. Brooks gets a little bit loose at the apex. That opens up the door for Ron Hart here going into turn number 1. Man, oh man, we've seen very few people attempt even to pass on Justin Brooks. Ron Hart right now doing that, and if there's one guy that loves to see these two battling like this, it is the one car of Tanner Tallarico, who is trying to run away and hide from the rest of the field behind him here. Ron Hart has been able to get to the inside of Brooks, has not been able to clear the pass, so let's ride on board with Justin Brooks looking back to Ron Hart and Hayden Swank behind and just see how close these guys are racing to each other tonight. You guys can just hear just how fast these laps are here tonight. I mean, very, very minimum throttle off time. You hear these guys just flipping the throttle right about there and then already rolling back into it before the apex, trying to just keep the momentum up as much as they possibly can. But a great battle for second here so far tonight, as Ron Hart, Justin Brooks race inches apart from each other. With these guys still side by side, you see more and more cars start to line up behind the two of them. Zach Coyer starting to get closer into this battle. Tim Rogers, who we saw kind of fall at first, he's starting to make a lot of ground as that 48 car looking very good on the tires right now. This time by, we see cross flags in feature number 1. Halfway down, halfway to go. With the countdown clock upon us, it is 24 to go as they door bang off of turn number 2. These guys not giving an inch here and everyone wants that P number 2 spot as they are racing their hearts out here. We'll continue to make contact here. Now Stephen Hoffman to the inside of Hayden Swank. Justin Brooks gets big time loose. That will lose the spot to Ron Hart. Brooks, though, I think can shut the door on Hoffman. Yes, he can. So Stephen Hoffman now trying to get back up into P number 4. Here comes Tim Rogers as well, as Ron Hart will block the inside lane here. 3 wide for a second going into turn number 1 as Tim Rogers will jump out of the throttle there. Man, awesome stuff inside the top 10 and pretty much the top 5. All these guys battling. Some great racing. Wow, Hayden Swank, big time sideways there in the 4 car off of turn number 4. He was somehow able to keep that car underneath him, as well as keep that car from getting into the right side of Tim Rogers. As old man Pete Dillon, big time hit for the 7 off of turn number 2. Out in front though here with 20 laps to go, Tanner Tallarico leads the way in the number 1 car. Currently running in second is Ron Hart. Was able to get around Justin Brooks for position. Justin Brooks here hanging on to P number 3, putting a lot of pressure on the rear bumper of Ron Hart for second. Stephen Hoffman sits in 4th, and Hayden Swank here trying to hold on to 5th as he gets pressure from Tim Rogers. Hart here under fire into turn number 1. Justin Brooks has the momentum. He has the run, able to take it here. We saw the reverse of this. Brooks on the outside, Hart down low. These guys were side by side for many of laps. How long does this one last as they continue to stay side by side? Man, oh man, some great battles. Further on back here, battling for every position on the track. Even a battle for 15th at the moment between TJ Hansen, Dave Payne, and Regan Ford, all swapping spots. As wow, both of those cars big time sideways there off of turn number 4. You saw how much that right rear and the rear end of both those race cars slid out from under them, both the 33 and the 51 there off turn number 4. As Hart will put the defense on to Stephen Hoffman here, so Hart will hang on to P number 3 here at the moment. Further on back, like I said, this battle was raging on, now kind of cooling on off, but these 5 cars were all under a blanket there just moments ago, as now we see Jeff Dillon here trying to get around the 20. Dillon, though, sits, I think, 3 laps down here, so machine not fighting for a position, sadly. Hoping for some yellows, but have not had that yet. Man, oh man, 2nd through now 7th, all in a single foul line with about 4 car lengths or less between them, because now Zach Boyer in this 13 machine, he has caught these lead cars. Let's see what Zach Boyer can do here late in this one. Jumping a little bit further towards the back here, looking at the pole sitter for feature number 2. At the moment, it will be 12th place Scott Negus here in the 55 machine. He currently sits 12th, and at the moment, he will be leading the field to the green flag here in feature number 2. So far, everyone doing pretty good at minding their P's and Q's, trying to ride on around. I say we ride on board here with Zach Boyer, see what he's seeing from all these cars in front of him, as well as what kind of momentum he has. Where does he have the better run? As now we watch Tim Rogers trying to work over Hayden Swank. That is a battle for 5th right in front of Zach Boyer here. Saw Rogers there in the purple 48 machine get to the inside of Hayden Swing, but couldn't quite put the power down off of turn number 4. See both cars though getting sideways there. Rogers has to run this time. We'll try again to get around the 4 of Hayden Swank here. That time though with the flagman, it was 2 open palms, 10 laps to go here in feature number 1 of the night. All these guys racing for very, very valuable spots and valuable points, because with dual features, it means double the points night here tonight. So a lot can go right for you and a lot can go wrong here with this, as we get 3 wide for a second. As Zach Corey says, enough waiting around. It is inside of 10 laps to go. It's time to get a move on. As Corey now to the inside of Rogers, maybe even to the inside of Swank. Yes, he does. So the 13 machine of Corey here might walk away here with a top 5 finish here in feature number 1. Further up front though, Stephen Hoffman hounding Ron Hart big time for P number 3. Hoffman has yet to complete the pass though, so as things starting to cool on off just a little bit, Coyer's still putting a lot of pressure onto the back bumper of Swank, and he's got a lot of pressure himself as Tim Rogers right there ready to strike as well. Oh man, Swank did not get a good exit off of turn number 4. Here comes Zach Cord to the inside. They go door number to door number here through turns 1 and 2. It's going to be a drag race down the backstretch. Very even. Can Coyer hit a good corner here in 3 and 4? If he can get a good exit, he might have the position right now, the advantage to Coyer at the stripe with 5 laps to go. Coyer will now try and make Swank go a little bit further distance up in lane number 2. Try and make that line a little bit slower for the number 4. As it looks like he is able to do that here. But they will continue to stay side by side here with now 4 laps to go. They'll make some contact. Swank will get put in the wall. I'm sure Swank not going to be happy with that just a little bit. As Swank will be able to slot right on the nose of Tim Rogers. So Swank will hold on to 6. We'll see if he can continue to hang on to that spot as Zach Coyer has driven up into the podium here. And trouble here for Justin Brooks. He is slow on the racetrack. He was running in 2nd, now is back into 4th. It looks like his pace back on it, but definitely very slow to the rest of the field here. Not sure if Brooks is having an issue, but we'll keep an eye on that here as Popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 laps to go for this guy. Further on back, some great battles between Cody Kennedy, TJ Hansen. These guys absolutely wheeling their race cars here at the end of this one. As yeah, Brooks still dropping off the pace, but the white flag is out. 1 more lap to go for the number 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. Tallarico just needs to hit the corner for the final time here through 3 and 4. And off of turn number 4, Tanner Tallarico will pick up the feature win here in feature number 1. Ron Hart will finish 2nd, Stephen Hoffman 3rd. Zach Coyer drives up to a 4th place finish, and Tim Rogers will round out the top 5 here. As I believe we actually had a little bit of an incident here coming to the checkered flag. We'll see what happened to the 20 machine of Ford. As, oh man, TJ Hansen maybe had some contact there. Ford had to lock it up to get out of the way and just gets collected there. So that will do it here tonight for feature number 1. So let's get a word here in just a second with our feature number 1 winner, that being the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. Tanner, do you got a copy? It's Brett Jet in the booth here. Let me make sure my settings are alright. It looks like they should be, so we'll get another try to the driver of the one car. Tanner, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Just got a tone, Brett.
Alrighty, so it sounds like it is an issue on my side, so we will try and figure out. Oh, here we go. Alright, now we should. Hey, Tanner, you got a copy now.
Hey, wake up.
What's up, Brett?
Alrighty, my man. How we feeling after feature number 1? You walk away with the checkered flag. That's got to feel pretty good, my man.
Yeah, we're feeling good. Just kind of had to take advantage of, Justin having a shotgun there. So I figure hope for no cautions or minimal cautions and just try to check out as far as I could because I knew that there'd be a matter of time before he kind of started reeling me in and was kind of hoping that we weren't going to get a caution right there because I think right at the end I probably burned my tires off and if we'd got a caution I think I'd have been in trouble, but it worked out. So we'll start 12th in the second one and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, definitely starting very deep. And yeah, did you get any sort of tire read after that one, or how were the tires feeling after that? Because we saw a lot of guys starting to struggle, especially exit off of 4. We saw a lot of slipping and sliding there, especially at the end.
Yeah, I got free off of 4 a couple times. Not anything too bad. I think I was wearing the right front and right rear pretty evenly. I think my lap times were just getting really slow. So I had to start using a lot of brake to get the car load down, especially into turn 3. But yeah, we'll take it. Like I say, we'll be starting deep in the second one and hopefully just stay out of trouble. I think that's going to be the name of the game. Usually these things, you get one that's completely chaotic and one that runs pretty clean and green. And I'd say that was probably the clean and green one. So hopefully it's not too crazy and just try to keep all 4 fenders on this thing and see where we end up.
Yeah, at least tonight you already picked up 1 checkered flag, so that helps the points as you come in here leading tonight. How does the mindset change for race number 2? Race number 1 starting with clean track, up on the front row, nice and easy, able to get around Hoffman, check on out here this time. A lot of cars in front of you, starting deep, and only 50 laps to make it happen.
Yeah, just like I said a second ago, I think the biggest thing here is even though we're starting deep in the field, just try to keep all 4 corners of the car on and don't put myself in a position where we just got so many good points from the first race. Don't try to throw away what we just got. So top 5 would be cool, but we'll see where things shake out. I think a lot of guys are really close on speed here. This car and track is really competitive. So kind of got to wait till the tires to wear out and the cars to slow down to really do a whole lot of passing, I think. But nonetheless, we're just going to try to keep this thing out of trouble. That's goal number 1.
Yeah, a good goal at that. As race number 1, we even saw, a 10-car pileup. So things happen quick. We hope, like you said, you keep all the fenders underneath you. But here, Tanner, picking up the checkered flag in feature number 1. So we're going to have you, of course, thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you want to give a shout out to before feature number 2.
Yeah, first things first, so got to thank my main primary sponsor. They're also my employer, so got to make sure we thank them. That's Elif Brothers Roofing on the hood of this thing. Boardwalk Subs, Mike's High Performance Gears, Accurate Inspections, KRW Performance and Customs. I guess you, Brett, for putting this on. If I don't get a chance to talk to you again, might as well thank you right now. You, Brett, for the broadcast and everything you guys do, the admin team, and like I say, I'll try to just keep all 4 corners of this thing on it, and that's going to be considered a win. If we can get through this second one unscathed, we'll take it.
Yeah, for sure, my man. Well, best of luck for you in feature number 2. Gonna roll off 12, so good luck here tonight, Tanner.
Thanks, buddy.
Alrighty, folks. Well, that was our winner of feature number 1. The 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. Getting the job done. He will roll off 12th here tonight. And speaking about where people are rolling off, let's get ready to head on trackside and go through tonight's starting lineup for feature number 2. So here we go for feature number 2. The starting lineup will look like the following. Scott Negus in the 55 machine will lead the field down to the green flag. Just outside, starting on the outside of the front row, it is the 31 machine of Zach Hummel. Rolling off P number 3 there is the 33 machine. A lot of threes there. It is Justin Brooks there with the car falling on off. He will roll off third. Just outside will be the 7 machine. That is Pete Dillon rolling off fourth, and rounding out the top 5 here for feature number 2 will be the 013 of Ty Delphia. Rolling off 6 will be the 66. That is Stephen Rochford. 7th going to the 35 machine of Hayden Swank. Tim Rogers in the 48 will roll off 8th. 9th going to Zach Boyer in the 13. And then rounding out the top 10, starting in 10th, is the 86 of Stephen Hoffman. Starting in 11th is the 51 machine of Ron Hart. And starting in 12th, feature number 1 winner, that is the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. Starting in 13th is the 906 of JT Batson. 14th going to Dave Payne in the 38. 15th is Cody Kennedy in the 63. TJ Hansen in the 41 will roll off 16th. 17th going to the 145 of Ace Hart. 18th, Regan Ford in the 20. Jeff Dillon in the 52 will start 19th. 20th going to the 88 of Chuck Dunn. And then starting in 21st is Scott Rochford in the 77 machine. And that will do it here tonight for the starting lineup as we get ready to rock and roll. Looks like a few cars taking an EOL penalty here at the end. It looks like Zach Hummel and Pete Dillon, both of them jumping to the back of the field. So that will move then the outside quite a few rows on up. We'll put Stephen Rochford on the outside of the front row. Tim Rogers up into 4th. And Stephen Hoffman will start this race in 6th. So here we go, folks. 50 laps once again. We saw the conclusion of one 50-lapper. Here we go for another one. The lights are out on the iRacing pace car, and we get ready to turn them loose once again here. And of course, this time a little bit of a twist. Top 12 inverted from feature number 1. And here we go. It's going to be Negus, Rochford on the front row, Scott in the red 55 machine, in control of the start here. The iRacing pace car will head down pit road and off at turn number 4. The field will wait to get on it. And here we go. We go green flag racing here in feature number 2 at Richmond. 55 machine able to get away with a great restart, able to be by himself here. Outside lane, they're struggling just a little bit. Will make contact with the wall. How do they sort themselves out? It looks like they will keep it out of the way. But it looks like here at the conclusion of lap number 1, Justin Brooks will lead the lap. So the 33 machine out in front here. We head back a little bit deeper here as the 013 Ty trying to work over to the inside of Steven. This is a great battle for our 3rd position here. Tim Rogers stuck up in lane number 2, safe with the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. So far, everyone's still out on the racetrack. If your favorite driver had an incident there in race number 1, like we saw the 88 of Chuck Darling, he is out here for feature number 2. Right now, Darling is a man on a mission, one of the biggest movers so far here in race number 2. He is up 5 spots in these first 4 laps, so Darling trying to rebound just a little bit from feature number 1. Here off at turn number 4, looks like Stephen Rochford will get clear for P number 3, so Rochford able to hang on to that spot. Doesn't go to the bottom side, so interesting call there from the 66. It will keep the cars 2 by 2 behind him, as now Hayden Swank looks to the inside of the 13 machine, almost 3 wide as Tim Rogers goes now from the top to the bottom lane there, as he almost got put up into the 3rd lane. It's now Hayden Swank here. We saw him inside of the top 5 last race, didn't quite hold on to the spot. He's trying to do that this time here. Sets P number 4, a familiar place for Swank here. As one car big time in the wall. That was the 13 machine of Zach Coyer. Wow. Coyer absolutely pounded the wall there off of turn number 2. Not sure if he got some help or if he just got loose, but that car definitely broken out on the racetrack. Looks like a 31 machine of Zach Hummel also slow on the speedway as well. We'll try and see maybe what happened to Hummel as that popped up in the replay here. So we'll see what happened to the 31 machine here in turns 1 and 2. Looks like maybe got some help from the 77, so that is what put Hummel around. Zach Coyer will try and see what happened here. Got loose, tried to slide him behind Hart, and then kind of ricocheted that car hard up into the outside wall. So looks like Coyer will bring that car pit side and probably be an early night for the 13 machine here in race number 2. 3 wide for a moment down the front stretch here is Tanner Tallarico, a man on a mission. He was just hoping for a top 5, and here we see Tallarico up into a podium spot here before the first 10 laps are done, as Tim Rogers now trying to muscle Stephen Roadford up into lane number 2. Those two will continue to make contact into turn number 1. Hayden Swink with the crossover move on 1. These guys are racing hard, but putting on a great show here inside of the top 5. Tallarico, a big-time crossover move there down the front stretch, gets that momentum, able to quickly take that car all the way down to the inside. Wow, big-time netcode. We saw Hayden Swink, his car kind of just jolt up a lane there, and that was some netcode about 2 car lengths of gap to the 1 car Tallarico, so that is why Swink a little bit off the pace there. Wow. You usually don't see it that bad here in iRacing, but with these revamped tracks, kind of seen a little bit of an issue with those here in iRacing the last few times. So out in front, Justin Brooks leads the way over Scott Negus. Negus currently running in 2nd, then it is Tanner Tallarico in 3rd, Tim Rogers in 4th, and now Stephen Hoffman has driven up to the top 5. Hoffman currently sits P number 5. The other car we gotta keep an eye on here, especially race pace, is this 51 machine of Ron Hart. Hart finished 2nd in feature number 1. Right now currently sits 7th, but I tell you what, I think once he gets some clean track in front of him, this 51 car gonna have a lot of speed as Hayden Swink goes around off of turn number 4. Everyone else will make evasive maneuvers, and that will bunch up the field here again, as I think Swink definitely got some help there off turn number 4. Let's see what happened to the 4 car. So here we go, Hayden Swink in the black number 4 car up in lane number 2. Ty Delphia down low in that white and red 13, and yeah, definitely not the greatest camera angle there, so we'll try it from a different view here in turns 3 and 4. And yeah, I think just a misjudgment a little bit by both cars, not realizing the other car was going to be there that quickly. Luckily, looks like everyone else going to be able to squeak by with kind of minimal damage, maybe the most damage to Jeff Dillon, Regan Ford, and maybe Dave Payton as well. So just like featured number 1 having a caution here just around lap 15, and once again here feature number 2 having the same thing. This will slow up the field and bunch him back up to send him back once again to some intense racing. As with our first caution of the night, oh man, I think TJ Hansen in the 41 machine just hit the wall big time there. Not sure what happened to Hansen, but he now has a lot of right front damage there in the 41 machine. As Jeff Dillon and Zach Coyer both still down on pit road here tonight. Zach Coyer, of course, we saw that big time wall hit did not bring out the caution, so Corey definitely done. Jeff Dillon able to get back out on the racetrack here in the 52. Another tough night for Dillon here, as he will rejoin the pack, but we'll start in P number 20. So with a little bit of some slow down action here, we are of course gonna turn it over to our partners at turn 3 with a quick word from Premier Setup Jobs. Alrighty folks, we come back here at Richmond just before the halfway point in feature number 2. The field is re-racked, restacked. It looks like the 33 machine of Justin Brooks electing the outside lane here on restart number 1. So we'll have to see what kind of restart Brooks can get here, as Justin Brooks on the loud pedal. We go back to green flag race, and Brooks away with a great start, as the rest of the field behind him will dive down into turn number 1. Looks like the 13 machine of Tydelphia did tap there. He will restart towards the back of the field here, so we'll have to see where he can go, as Niga's able to hang out in P number 2. Tanner Tallarico will get clear of Rogers for that 4th position here, and now Stephen Hoffman, Scott, and Stephen Roachford right there in chase of the 48. Further on back, one car that has been driving his way through the field here, feature number 2, is the 88 of Chuck Darling. Darling now finds himself inside of the top 10. He is currently up to 8th here, and I think he is trying to drive his way up into a top 5 finish before it's all said and done. Further on back here, 2x2 battle for quite a few cars, as we see Zach Hummel here trying to get around the 906 JT Benson, and then bring along the 20 machine of Regan Ford. Philadelphia back here as well after tapping and claiming that last caution. We're gonna have a long way to go to get through the field here, as big time hits. A lot of cars involved in this one. Chuck Darling, oh man, we were just saying how he was making it through the field. Ron Hart as well involved as well. We'll have to see what brought out that one, but quite a few big hits for a lot of drivers there into that one. So we'll see if we can kind of find the start of that incident here tonight. So going down the backstretch, Stephen Roachford gets into the wall, then gets into the right rear quarter panel of Ron Hart. That sends Darling hard into the inside, while Pete Dillon involved, TJ Hansen, Ron Hart going up and over, Ace Hart involved as well, as man, some big time calamity, as wow. We saw a big one there in feature number 1, seeing a second big one here tonight, as Ron Hart goes for a wild ride there. You can see the big hits down low. That sends the cars back up to the top side. Then it's pretty much a track blocker. Man, that is the hit to Ron Hart. Let's ride on board one more time with Hart just to see what he saw there. As, yeah, kind of unexpected. And then here comes the big hits there. Boom, and up and over the 51 machine goes. So a heartbreak for Hart there, racing the 66 machine of Stephen Roachford, as Hart was able to walk away on the podium in feature number 1. Here in feature number 2, not going to be as lucky here. So with that, I want to say that took out about 6 or so cars when it's all said and done. Cody Kennedy down on pit road. Steven Rochford still down there. Of course, Ron Hart, Chuck Darling, Jeff Dillon, all down on pit road as well. As I believe next time by, we should see the 1 to go signal. And with that signal as well, it's going to be cross flags for feature number 2. It's going to be halfway down, halfway home in this one. And I tell you what, Tanner maybe called it. He said that first one, even though we had that big one, was a pretty calm race so far here in this one. Some big time wrecks here as Brooks at the last moment going to choose the inside lane here on restart number 2. I say if these boys get rocking and rolling pretty well, I think we'll do a little turn 3, turn it up while the cars are all bunched up and racing hard. So with that, some big time mover and shakers. Zach Hummel now sits in P number 8. Ty Delphia up to 9. JT Batson rounding out the top 10, then just outside the top 10. Scott Rochford in 11th. Ace Hart 12th. TJ Hansen 13th. As here we go up in front. Justin Brooks in the 33 in control. And we go back to green flag racing with half the race already down and less than half the race to go here. Scott Negus did not get away with a good start there in the 55 machine. We'll lose second to Tanner Tallarico. May even lose third to Stephen Hoffman as Hoffman now looks to the inside of the 55. Negus way up the racetrack, way up the lane, able to keep it off the wall, but that is very close. So like I said, folks, I think we got to do a little turn 3, turn it up at the newly revamped Richmond racetrack. Back here to live racing action here with 20 laps to go. Justin Brooks sits in the lead about a half a second over feature number 1 winner Tanner Tallarico. Stephen Hoffman is back up to third. That is where he finished in feature number 1. He's hoping for a great point tonight, having that as well. Tim Rogers sits in 4th. Scott Negus, though, able to hang on to 5th, but he has a hard charge. Dave Payton closing the gap to his back bumper. I say let's ride on board with Stephen Hoffman here, looking back at the cars behind him. Last time by for Hoffman was a 22.67, so these cars still keeping some pretty good pace as their fast time was either in the mid 5s or the low 5s. Most people, so tires not super falling off. They know this race is a sprint at the 50 lap mark here. As you see Rogers get oh so closer. That splitter starting to disappear behind the spoiler, but then Hoffman, he is very good at getting the good runs off of the corner, knows how to put the power down just right here as Tim Rogers though with the run will not look to the inside this time going into turn number 1. 16 to go that time by at the stripe for these guys, and I have a feeling most of these guys just hoping to get this race done. Looks like Ron Hart is able to rejoin the race here in the 51 machine, so Hart's at 7 laps down, but he only is 14th position here as he works to get around his son Ace Hart this pass we got to show on the broadcast here. And maybe not, as looks like Ron just taking it easy, probably coaching his kid on how to get around here. But look, as you can see, there are a lot of damage to the nose to the 145 of Ace Hart here. 14 to go, and like I said, the closest two cars is this battle for the third position here, as Tim Rogers definitely, Stephen Hoffman on this. Scott D is starting to lose touch with those cars just a little bit. Dave Payton not quite catching the 55 as much as he was before. As he just turned it up a little bit more if he can, but that time a big slide there, taking it all the way to the wall. And then look at this rebound. Ty Delphia had to restart 20th after the first caution. He is up inside the top 10, currently in 7th, and kind of catching our 6th place driver of Dave Payton. So this could be a battle here in just a few laps. Hayden Swank, even with that damage, has hung on to 8th. Scott Roachford, this guy right here, advantage those top 10s when it's all said and done. He sits in 9th. Right now, the biggest mover of feature number 2. He is up 12 spots in the 77 machine. This time by for the 33 machine of Justin Brooks. We'll see two open hands from the flag man, because it is 10 laps to go. That battle for 5th now underway here, as Dave Payton has put together a couple good laps. Scott Negus, though, right front damage to the 55, will attack the wall there off of turn number 2, so that's definitely not going to help the big red machine's cause here late in this one. Right behind them, Scott Roachford trying to get around Hayden Swank. This is now a battle for the 8th position. This will put the 77 machine up, I should say, plus 13 spots when it's all said and done. Those two will lean on each other just a little bit at the apex there. No drag race down the front stretch into turn number 1 here. 77 of Scott Roachford down low. The 4 car of Hayden Swank up top. Swank will get the wall big time. Here comes Zach Hummel now on the offense. Swank a big time hit there on turn number 2. That will kill the momentum just a little bit, but able to hang on to the spot right in front of them. Lap traffic of the 41 machine of Hanson with that heavy damage now allows Ty Delphia to get right on the back bumper of Dave Payton. Ty was running inside of the top 10 before he tapped out, went to the back. He's trying to rebound to a top 5 finish before it's all said and done. But I know Dave Payton would love a top 5 finish as well here in the 38 machine. These two boys going to be racing their hearts out these last 5.5 laps. Out in front though, Justin Brooks clicking off the laps here. Has put the gap to about 1.5 seconds now over Tanner Tallarico. So Brooks just on a Sunday drive. He is trying to get this race done and over with, as he now has 4.5 laps left in this one. Tanner Tallarico, that pace on the 1 car starting to fall off quite a bit. Stephen Hoffman now within 2 car lengths of our 2nd place runner. So we may have some fireworks for a podium finish before it's all said and done, because if those two take too long battling each other, Tim Rogers will close up there in a hurry in that purple 48 machine. 3 laps left in this one here, folks, as now Hoffman within a car length of Tallarico by the time they lifted into turn number 1. Tallarico definitely slipping and sliding, losing that right rear just a little bit. What can Hoffman do with 2 laps to go? As that time by, popsicle sticks up in the air. It is 2 laps to go. Hummel able to get back around Hayden Swank, so Zach Hummel up into 9th. Hayden Swank just trying to hold on to a top 10 finish. lap and a half left. And Hoffman is there. Does he have enough time to make a move? Does he have enough time to make one stick? As that time Tallarico gets loose, doesn't get the drive. Here we go, battle for second on the white flag lap. One more lap to go. Hoffman and Tallarico will drag race here down the backstretch. Can Tallarico hold him on off? It's going to be a tight one here. Hoffman has run here to the stripe. It's going to be Justin Brooks and a drag race at the line. Stephen Hoffman will just edge out Tanner Tallarico. Hoffman will finish second, Tallarico third, Tim Rogers in fourth. Dave Payton will round out the top five here. But it was Justin Brooks, the man of the hour there in the 33 machine, able to get the job done. And Justin Brooks will visit victory lane here in feature number 2. Justin Brooks here will bring it to the infield and will start to try and get the rear tires to light on up, as he will take it to the fence now, pick up the checkered flag, and start a Polish victory lap. So Justin Brooks once again picks up a feature win here in ASRC in the late model stocks. I believe this is now feature win number 7 for the 33 crew. As Brooks will bring it on down, and with that, folks, we will be right back after a quick commercial break for our post-race show. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams, race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we come back here to Richmond Raceway to talk to our top 3 after feature number 2. And the first driver we'll be talking with here is our 3rd place finisher. It is the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. Tanner, do you got a copy of Spread the Jet in the booth here?
Oh, I got you, Brett.
Alrighty, my man. Well, after 2 races talking to me with both of them, that's got to feel pretty good when it's all said and done.
Yeah, it's not the maximum amount of points, but nonetheless, it was really good points. So we'll take that. And like I told you earlier, goal number 1 was just keep all 4 fenders on this thing, and somehow we got lucky, and I think the majority of the chaos happened behind us. So we'll take that and move on.
Yeah, that it was definitely some chaos here tonight. Even though, you know, this race maybe had a little bit more, still had the big one, as well as a couple cautions. And those maybe playing into your hand a little bit. Luckily, like you said, able to keep all the cautions behind you and overall walk away with a P number 3. That's got to feel pretty good with all the uncertainty, especially with how these cars are driving, right?
Yeah, I did some stuff a little bit different that run. Kind of knowing I was starting deeper in the field with my brake bias and stuff, and hindsight being 2020, I probably should have left it alone. I didn't think in 50 laps it would really affect me all that much, but it definitely did. I fired off with Brooks, and I kind of knew right then and there that I should have left it alone and kind of watched him walk away from me, but to get lucky enough to somehow manage a podium. Like I said a second ago, it's not max points, but it's a lot of points, so we'll take it.
Yeah, that it was a great points night for our points leader coming in and leaving tonight. And yeah, Tanner, like you said, it seemed like that one car a little bit less on rails. You were definitely slipping and sliding. It seemed like a little bit more, especially off of turn number 4. We saw you get big time sideways quite a few times there, especially at the end of that run.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I had a lot more rear brake in the car in the first race, and I could kind of use the brake to get the car wound down, and it would rotate really, really well. In the second round, I didn't really have quite as much brake in the back, so I was using less brake, but I kind of had to stomp on the gas to get the car to rotate, and I pretty much had to do that the entire run, and I think just it overheated the right rear too much. So started getting really free on me off of 4. It wasn't bad off of 2, but definitely center off of 4. Had more wheel to the right than I did to the left. That's for sure. So, yeah, just glad to come out of it in one piece.
Yeah, I'm sure of that as well. And, with this, I think the season 2/3 of the way done here. Just looking at the schedule, USA next week. Then we head to North Wilkesboro, New Smyrna, and then we end things off at Kern County. How are we feeling with these last 4 races left for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that we're already at the 2/3 mark. This season has gone by really, really fast. But, kind of looking ahead, I don't know. I mean, USA, I think, is always really competitive because just everybody being on iRacing, that's like the first short track that we all start off at, right? So everybody's got a good amount of experience there. Wilkesboro is a great pairing with this car. You can kind of somewhat chart your own destiny there, which is nice. Sometimes these things can be hard to pass with, but at least at Wilkesboro, like I said, you can kind of chart your own destiny. And then New Smyrna, we've never had these cars there, so I don't know what to expect when we go there. I don't know if we're going to be good, bad, clean, caution fest, who knows. And then can't go wrong ending the season at Kern. I mean, that place is big and wide, and can definitely get a second lane going there if you save your tires long enough. And that's 100 and, I believe, 50 lapper, or
Yep.
maybe 125 laps. So yeah, that one will be long enough to where you'll really get a lot of tire wear, and we'll probably be able to move around, find some grip and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Of those 4 that are left, I can't really put my thumb on one and really tell you which one I think is going to be the best for me. But I do think that we're probably going to get a really good show at North Wilkesboro and probably Kern for sure. Not sure about USA New Smyrna yet, but I'm sure, like ASRC always does, we'll find a way to put on a show.
Oh yeah, that you guys do. And here tonight, putting on a great show with both feature number 1, you picking up the win. Then by the end of feature number 2, you said you were just hoping for a top 5, battling for the win a little bit, and definitely a factor on the podium all night long. Man, it was definitely awesome to see you do it. And race number 2, hindsight, besides the maybe the brake bias change or whatnot, was there anything else you kind of learned being in traffic versus feature number 1 there?
Yeah, I learned that Justin Brooks is just as good in clean air as I always thought he was. So that, no, but on a serious note, just, I think this car is really sensitive to all of your inputs, whether it's in your feet or in your hands, especially here at Richmond. This is an all-new updated version of Richmond that none of us have really raced on yet coming into tonight. Same track surface, just a lot of visual stuff that's different, and kind of learning your different braking markers and throttle up pickup points and stuff like that. All that has changed since the last time we were here. So I thought I figured a lot of that out in practice, but kind of as we went through the races and stuff, I kind of was adjusting on the fly as my lap times and stuff got better and better and better. So I would say visually did a lot more adjusting than actually like in the car driving it. But yeah, nonetheless, it's iRacing did a killer job with this remodel, and I'm glad that they did it to Richmond because she was starting to look a little bit dated, and it's a great track that ASRC goes to quite a bit, so we'll be able to take advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorite tracks to race on and commentate with. And yeah, great show once again. So, Tanner, before we go, let you go once again here in the booth. We're going to go hand over the mic to you. And once again, give you a chance to shout out to whoever you got to shout out here tonight with a win and now a podium with both features done and completed.
Yeah, so I got to give a shout out to my girlfriend Riley because she was watching the first race, and she never watches my sim racing races, and she happened to watch the first one, and of course I get an interview, and I didn't thank my girlfriend. So if I don't thank her right now, it's not going to be a fun time. So thanks for watching and cheering me on. I appreciate you. I don't know if my dad's going to go back and watch this later. I know the Hearts usually watch this, Randy, and I know Ace was in the race, so Ron as well. So I want to say shout out to those guys, and yeah, I guess ×2 to everybody I thanked earlier. And once again, thank you, Brett. Thanks to the admin team. Thanks to the all the ASRC members. And real quick shout out to Steven for racing me clean on that last lap. We were racing hard and not really giving each other a whole lot of room, but we never touched one time. And had a nice little drag race to the line. So it's always cool when you get to kind of do that with somebody. So shout out to Steven. I appreciate him. And congrats on the win there, Justin. And I guess we will see you next week at USA.
Yep, sounds like a plan. We'll see you next week at USA. But once again, Tanner, congrats on the win and the podium as well. So you, my man, have a great rest of your night.
Yep, thanks, buddy. We'll catch you later.
Alrighty, folks. That was our third place finisher, the one car of Tanner Tallarico. Now we'll head up to our second place finisher, and that being, trying to get a good camera shot of his car. I guess that's kind of the best. It is the 86 machine of Stephen Hoffman. Stephen, do you got a copy? It's Brett Jet in the booth here.
Hey, what's going on, Brett?
Alrighty, my man. How are we feeling after two 50-lap races here at Richmond?
Thankful. I'm not very good here. I don't know how we pulled it off twice in both features. I think we got third in the first one, second in this one. I'll take them.
Yeah, that was going to be the first point I brought up to you. You know, feature number one, intense racing. It seemed like all around you led the field to green, able to walk away with a third. And then you better that here in feature number two to a second, and a great battle between you and Tanner, a drag race to the line. What'd you figure out maybe from feature number one to help you in feature number two, or, you know, what was clicking here tonight at Richmond?
I think in the first feature, I let Tanner go. I shouldn't have done that. If I would have known that Ron and Justin were going to battle as hard as they did, because Tanner just left us, and then Hayden and I were just stuck behind him watching the show. Hindsight, I wish I would have kept pace with Tanner. I was going to let him lead the race. I'm terrible at managing tires when I'm up front by myself, so I was like, Tanner's got some real life experience on asphalt, and he's been playing the sim a little bit longer, so I was like, I'll let him go, and that backfired on me quick. But into the second feature, after running behind Justin and Ron for so long, I realized you could actually beat the crap out of these things, and that right rear would hold up, and it would drive pretty good. You'd have to watch it coming out of 4, I think, if I remember correctly. But other than that, after that long run, I thought Tim was going to get me because of how bad I was in 3 and 4. And then I just started calming myself down, started rolling this entry a little bit more, and then I was able to catch up to Tanner and was able to drag race him there to the start-finish line.
Yeah, we rode with you a little bit in feature number 2, and it seems like, Steven, you always have this knack, right, for rolling the middle kind of faster, if not one of the best at the apex, and then from that, carry the momentum on off, be able to just put enough power down and not really kick the tires way out from underneath you, but enough to get that really good run, and that seemed like that was the case when we rode with you, even in feature number 2.
Yeah, that's what I kept telling myself it would work toward the last part of that second race, but I was kind of mirror driving with Tim, gauging our distance, and you know what you always got to tell yourself as a driver is to quit looking in the mirror. And after I did that, that's when I started picking up my pace and catching Tanner back up. I don't know if he it seemed like he was starting to get really loose coming out of the corners, so I knew once I got on the outside of him and going into one, he would have a hard time keeping the momentum up.
Yeah, that definitely was the case. And then a great battle on the last lap. You guys racing very, very hard, but clean racing, and ultimately ends up in the drag race, which it seemed like you definitely had the better rear tires. Like you said, once you got to the inside, it was pretty much keep that momentum and keep that drive off the corners, right?
Yeah, going into three on that last lap, I lifted before Tanner, and I heard how hard he drove it in, and I was like, oh, I should be able to get this one no problem coming off.
Yeah, and that you did. And as well here tonight, two great finishes with a new paint scheme on the car. So I like to think I'm not the most superstitious person, but I think it definitely helped you here tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, the old paint scheme, that was a throwback to one of the cars we ran a couple years ago in the pure stock division. Just kind of wung this one up the other day just to change it up a little bit, but I think we'll leave it on here for a little bit. It's got 2 podiums in a row. We'll take that.
Yeah, I tell you what, looking pretty good. And then looking to our future, a lot of still kind of fun tracks to be had. USA, North Wilkesboro, New Smyrna, Kern County. Only 4 races left. How we feeling with those 4 races left in the schedule?
A lot better than tonight. USA should be pretty good. It's a long, if that's the right track I'm thinking of. It's got long straightaways and tight corners, so that'll be a real good technical track. And then the same way with North Wilkesboro, and then we'll finish her off at Kern. I haven't ran the other. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think I've turned a lap at New Smyrna, so we'll have to download that one and see how she feels.
Yeah, that one's kind of a decently banked kind of bull ring with fairly long corners. It's like a more banked and slightly shorter straightaways than USA. It's a pretty fun track, but ASRC's never been here in the late model stock, so you won't be alone with trying to figure that place out for sure.
Yeah, it's been a fun series, so hopefully we can finish her off with a bang. Tanner got that first win, so we're probably still in second, ways away from him. But like you said earlier, we got a third and a second, so I think we're still right there within striking distance. If hopefully I'm not the one that has the short end of the stick in the next couple races. Hopefully he doesn't either, but maybe we'll have a little bit more lady luck on our side.
Yeah, hopefully that is the case because, yeah, it would be very exciting to see you two throw down in a points battle when it's all said and done because, like we saw tonight, 2 of the best sim racers here in the league just throwing it out there and, having a great clean race at that.
Yeah, we're missing a couple faces, but it seems to be we're on a trend right now between Justin, Tanner, and myself. Justin's got the slight advantage on us. He's pretty quick, and he manages stuff very, very well. But it seems like at the very end, Tanner and I are right there around each other, duking it out.
Yeah, that is definitely the case here. So, Steven, here tonight, walking away with a third and a second. Definitely very, very awesome stuff. So, before we let you go and celebrate those finishes, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors on the car, teammates, or anyone else you'd like to give a shout out to on the broadcast here tonight.
Shout out to Postma Flooring for helping put on the series, and all the guys, you guys here at ASRC give us a fantastic league to race in. There's hardly any. I mean, you're gonna have drama no matter where you go, but the racing's clean. For the most part, everyone's level-headed. You can run door to door with people, and even if there is slight contact, it's very minimum. Shout out to, I think Mom and Dad are probably watching. I think my buddy Jacob Cruz Camp's watching, so shout out to him. And I think we got Jolie and Sons on the car again, and Racers for Christ, and Blue Oval Gang.
Heck yeah, some great stuff there. So, Steven, my man, you have yourself a great rest of the night. Go celebrate these finishes, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you once again here in the near future.
Fingers crossed. We'll see you, Brett.
Alrighty, folks. That was our second place finisher, the 86 machine of Steven Hoffman. Now we'll head back to our race winner, that being the 33. It is Justin Brooks visiting Victory Lane here once again. Justin, you got a copy. It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, man. What's going on?
Oh, man. How are we feeling after 2 50-lap features you're the victor here in feature number 2.
Feeling pretty good. First race didn't go as planned. I had to start in the back for winning last week and I feel like I was making my way to the front methodically, and they wrecked in front of me. I stopped for the wreck, and about 5 seconds later, I got cream. I forgot who it was that creamed me, but they absolutely creamed me, and I was stuck on their hood pins. And had a few guys check out my car. They say I had rear end damage, but it was down on speed on the straightaways compared to the second race. I was like 2 to 3 miles an hour off, depending on how I hit the corner. In the straightaways, and the rear damage I had was making me very loose. I was barely hanging on trying to pass Ron in that first stint, and when I got in front of him trying to run down Tanner, I was just sliding all over the track, driving as hard as I could just to try to keep up pace. And I was reeling him in, and the car just felt like it was trying to take a dump on me, so I just decided to play it smart and just back it off and try to go for it in the second race and put myself in position, not have to worry about the same stuff that happened in the first. And I think it was the right call. We had a fast piece in the second one. Try to manage my tires. I feel like I didn't push it at all really throughout the run, except there a little bit at the end just to see what I really had. But honestly, wish that was about a 125 lap race right there, because I feel like I'd have been gone. I mean, that thing was on rails. That second race, it was a lot of fun to drive compared to that first stint.
Yeah, I bet you it was a lot more fun without the damage. And like you said, with that mile per hour, that is a big factor, especially on iRacing. I mean, every tenth matters. So when you have 2 to 3 miles an hour off, you can be way out to lunch. It was still very impressive to see you drive up through the field. And sadly, like you said, that car just didn't have the pace. But then, yeah, you come out race number 2, guns a-blazing. You take the lead on the completion of lap 1, and then just never looked back.
Oh, yeah, that was my plan, is try to get it in the first or second lap. I thought I could maybe get on the second, but he slipped up out of 2, so I got on the first one. And it was just all about trying to set a pace up front. I just tried to drive it just a little bit hard, but keep it straight and get him out of my draft, because the draft here is a really big thing. It was the only thing really keeping me up when I had that damage in that the first race and all. I mean, it was a tugboat. Pretty much felt like I had a boat behind my car when I went in the draft, but was trying to shake them out of my draft like the second race itself, when Tanner got about 9/10 back or a second. I seen him just start falling a big time compared to what it was. I don't know if it was just the draft or he burned his stuff up, but after that it was just trying to hit my marks and save a little bit just in case of a yellow.
Yeah, that you did an awesome job with. Like I said before, I mean, yeah, you definitely had the car to beat race number 2 with a clean 33 machine. So after tonight, only 4 races left. How are we feeling about, USA? I think New Smyrna's on there, North Wilkesboro, Kern County. I know you're a big fan of North Wilkesboro and Kern. Is that still the game plan, to go out there and try and put a whooping like you do?
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm here to try to win. Obviously, it's and I have fun as well. But I mean, yeah, those tracks definitely for sure. New Smyrna, I really like New Smyrna. I'm not sure if I'll make it next week to USA. If I do, it's gonna be very, very last minute. I don't know yet right now. But if I don't, then my goal is to show up for the next 3 and try to win them all, especially Wilkesboro and Kern. I mean, I really like them. I really like them tracks in this car. New Smyrna used to be one of my favorites, but this car, it depends on the setup. Like it can be it can be iffy for me. But like I said, North Wilkesboro, if it's a little bit loose, it's going to be a hell of a race for sure.
Yeah, and I plan to build those looser setups. I mean, tonight you guys had a pretty loose setup, even though, I couldn't make it any looser because of iRacing, but I felt like I put a pretty good one to keep it in the driver's hands, let's say, and you put on a great show with that.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun to drive if you drove it right. I know in the first race I had checked my tires. I know it's had damage and everything, but I had 46% or so on my right rear and like 70 on my right front. In the second race I had 72, and I think it was 70 on my tires. So, I mean, it was all about trying to keep it straight. And if you kept it straight, you could make speed. But I mean, as soon as you got that right rear hot, the thing was slide, and I think you saw that with a lot of guys tonight.
Yeah, we did, and that's what happened to the one car of Tanner. He lost that right rear, and once that happens, it's pretty much game over. Because a place like this, with it being so big, right, you can't afford to give up that momentum for multiple laps.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this track is all about momentum, and like I said, you got to hustle the car around. So I mean, it's all about managing your equipment and keeping the tires on it at the same time and keeping it straight and I mean, it's all about your inputs, throttle and steering. I mean, especially with that kind of setup. I mean, any little bit you put too much wheel into it, the thing is going to push the front end, and you try to get too greedy with that gas pedal. I mean, especially here at a worn out track like Richmond. I mean, you'll figure out quick that's not the right way to go.
Yeah, I bet that was, and a lot of drivers probably figured that out as well. So, well, Justin, congrats on another checkered flag. I believe this makes it now career win number 7. So, before we let you go and celebrate another win, we're of course going to hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you want to give a shout out to on the broadcast here tonight at Richmond.
Well, like I do every week, thank you first and foremost for the hell of a job you do each and every week. It's always fun to talk to you. Thank Tanner, thank everybody else, all the admins over here that do what they do each and every week, give us a fun place to race. These guys, I mean, you saw it with me and Ron in that first stint, go head to head and not give an inch, but at the same time keeping it clean. I mean, that stuff's fun. So it's a pleasure race to get some of these guys. They don't give you an inch, but at the same time, they're not going to put you in the wall. Thank everybody watching tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank my girlfriend. She's tuning in. I got a buddy of mine, Chase. He said he was tuning in as well. Shout out myself, I guess, JustinBrooksDesigns.com, Crow Sim Shots, like their processing. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Just keep it short and sweet like I always do.
Yep, for sure, my man. And you keep on picking up those checkered flags. I'm sure we'll be talking again in the future. So, Justin, you have yourself a great rest of the night, and you take care, my man.
All right, brother. We'll be seeing you.
All righty, folks. That was our race winner, Justin Brooks, picking up his 7th career win here in ASRC. So that would do it here for the post-race show. So let's wrap things on up. Of course, first with the race results. Then, of course, that will do it here. So first and foremost, want to thank all you guys tuning on in here live, all the replay viewers. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. Got to give a big shout out to the racers putting on the show that all of us can enjoy, as well as all the partners here with ASRC, that being LaPlante Racing Products, the big title sponsor, Postma. You can check them out with the link in the description, and as well as Boardwalk Subs for coming on board with the caution. So here we go. The results for feature number 2 will look like the following. Justin Brooks will pick up the win here tonight. Stephen Hoffman will finish 2nd. 3rd, going to Tanner Tallarico. Tim Rogers will finish 4th. Rounding out the top 5 is Dave Payne. Ty Delphia will rebound to 6th. 7th, going to Scott Negus. Then MP number 8, our biggest mover of the night, Scott Rochford, will finish in 8th. 9th, going to Zach Hummel. And Hayden Swank rounding out the top 10. JT Batson will finish 11th. Ace Hart, I believe career best night, will finish 12th. 13th, going to TJ Hansen. 14th is Ron Hart. 15th, Cody Kennedy. 16th is Pete Dillon. 17th, Stephen Rochford. 18th is Chuck Darling. Then behind Darling will be Regan Ford in 19th, Jeff Dillon 20th, and 21st, Zach Coyer. And of course, we'll pop up feature number 1 results from the whole field, so we know the top 3. Well, I'll click on over to it as well. Why not? So that is the bottom half of the rungs, and then we will go on up to the top half there. So we'll let you guys read who you want to see finished where in feature number 1. Well, that will do it here tonight for race number 8 of the Postma Flooring late model stock. So that will do it. Of course, you can catch live racing action tomorrow night at Richmond here with the American Sim Racing Club Street Stock Series. If not, next Tuesday, we'll be live, same time, same place, to head on over to USA. And I believe the finale of the LaPlante Triple Crown Series. So that would do it here tonight. Turn 3 is partnered with that logo in the bottom right. That is Premier Setup Shops. You can find their link also in the description. Even if you don't buy anything, a click will go a long way, but they do have some of the best setups. A lot of great other stuff they have, from paint schemes and whatever else you may be interested in the sim racing world. So a click will go a long way and show our support as a support Turn 3 Racing Network and allow us to do what we do. So that will do it here tonight. Everyone take care, stay safe, have a great rest of your week. And I've been Brett the Jet in the booth, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.